happy about that, and so I'm glad we're syncing up here. So let's jump into your background. So
Sure.
here's what you can go any direction you want, but I'll give you a few pointers I would love to see that I've done with other CEOs and other presidents of companies. Tell me, kind of go backward and tell me about your family, who you were growing up.
Okay.
Your success journey, what motivated you as you were growing, what events might have made a difference to you, and then eventually, how did you get to where you're at? You're
Sure.
Executive Vice President, President USA of UPS. How did that happen?
Sure.
And love to hear your story.
Yeah. So, youngest of 3 boys.
I'm the youngest. Okay.
Yeah. And my parents were first-generation immigrants from Italy, actually.
They were.
So.
How do you say your name, Italian-wise?
Cesarone.
Cesarone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really just comes off.
Oh, I love that.
If you're in Italy, but in Atlanta, not so much.
And here we say Cesarone. How do you say it?
Yeah, Cesarone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cesarone. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I like to throw that around when I'm in Europe. But nonetheless,
do you speak Italian?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Can't write it though.
Okay.
But
You learned it growing up.
for sure.
Wow.
I mean, they spoke Italian in the house.
At the house, right. So
and
cool.
it's a really cool story. So my dad came over first, and he was a tailor in Italy at the time. Didn't speak a word of English.
Yeah.
And there was no work, right? So after the war, the economy wasn't doing so good, so needed to provide.
World War II.
Yeah, and had come over to Canada, and Toronto is where he set foot first, and just worked hard enough so he can get my mom to come over too. So
How many years did it take?
It was 3 years.
Okay.
And he lived in a home with my uncle, and they shared that.
Wow.
And they both saved up enough money to bring his sister over, and my mom. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And like growing up in that environment, you learn a lot about just hard work, and I hardly saw the man. So out in the morning before I went to school, and then back after I went to bed at night. But the time we did spend together.
He was still
of
a
course,
tailor at the time? He continued doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then eventually he started getting into different businesses. One was just selling shoes and distributing shoes from Italy, actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
He had 6 stores, and he did okay.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But just seeing that work ethic, I think just kind of rubbed off. And we talk about influence in the neighborhood. Eventually, when we had our own home, a lot of the Italians that came over had settled in this community, and there wasn't a time in the evening or on the weekend where there wasn't a group of people kind of hanging around with him.
Kind of the Italian
Yeah.
family get together. Kind of.
Yeah.
I lived in Spain for a few years.
Did you?
And so a little similar, right?
Gorgeous, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, the culture is a little similar, I think, too. So
It is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, normal upbringing, I had
Yep.
fun, went to school, played with the rest of the kids in the neighborhood. That was all good. And then it came time to actually go to university. So not so many colleges in Canada, it's universities, right? And he had enough money to put my 2 older brothers through school, but not enough money for me. So
Really?
toughest conversation
Really?
in the world, I think, for a
him.
father to have with their, with their son. And so he laid it on me, and I was okay, got it. I understand the situation. And UPS had just come to town, and just built a brand new facility in northern Toronto. And I was just riding my bike across the street from the university that I wanted to go to. And there was a big sign outside that said, "We pay your tuition." So I thought, okay.
Whoa.
And I didn't know who UPS was because, well, we weren't established to the extent that we are here. It was a really young company.
What year was that?
1990.
Okay.
So I went to apply for the job. I thought it was a security company because it looked very official, right? So the drivers were really neat uniforms. The package cars were sparkling, brown and all, locked up security-wise. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go check this out.
Security like guard kind of?
Yeah, I thought they just, They were a
Okay.
security company that delivered high-value
Okay.
goods. I
Didn't
had
look
no
like it.
idea.
Okay.
No idea. But I applied, and I was told, you know, there's not many positions, so it might be a while before we call you back. And I went home, and I had a message waiting for me at home that said, hey, we need you to come to work tomorrow.
No kidding.
And I did, which was pretty cool.
So this is 1990.
Yeah.
That's when you first got started with UPS.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And
So
interesting.
what was your role? What did you do first?
So I started loading trucks, actually. And that's not uncommon today. We have a lot of students that we, you know, take care of tuition
Yep.
for. In
Yep.
fact, in our Louisville facility we were talking about earlier, we have our own degree program that we team up with the state. We've got 13,000 students that have accomplished and graduated with a degree. So we
go
pay.
through the program. You pay for it, and
We
they
pay half, and the state pays half.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and we administer a lot of the programs, which is pretty neat.
And is the idea they would stay with you after?
Yes,
Yeah,
and we
for a
have
certain
so
amount
many.
of time.
Yes, and we have so many examples of
Okay.
people coming out with a degree and then starting their careers at UPS and ending up somewhere in
Oh,
the world.
that's so cool.
It
so
is.
Cool.
It is.
And so what happened after that? You got through school. It was all 4 years. You worked
Yeah,
your way through.
so I started, and
Yeah.
I actually quit the first day. That's an interesting story. I mean,
You quit the first day.
yeah, I mean, I didn't tell anybody, but I went in the first day, and it was chaotic because the growth was just incredible,
Okay.
right? So brand new company, we're growing 20 to 30%, and you know, from basically nothing. And there was a lot of chaos in that building because of the growth, right?
Okay.
And I thought, man, I'm not going back to this place anytime soon. So
Didn't
I
like
went-
the chaos.
No way. So I went home, and I thought to
awesome.
myself, I'm done. I'm not going to go back there. But just so happened I woke up at 3 in the morning the next morning, so my shift starts at 4. And I woke up, I'm sure, because I felt guilty. I hadn't quit anything before and didn't feel good. So I went into work, and I'm glad I did.
So let me back up. So
Yeah.
you worked for a day, didn't like the environment at the time
Yeah.
because it was crazy environment.
Very, very crazy, yes.
Did you actually give your notice? Did you actually say I'm quitting?
No, I didn't
Oh,
tell
you
anybody.
mentally you
Just
quit.
mentally, I
Okay.
quit. There was no going back the next day.
Okay.
I would have been missing in action for sure.
But you woke up and said
I
I'm
just
going.
woke up.
And you never stopped?
Never stopped,
kept
and
going.
then I just fell in love with the culture and
Remarkable.
the people, and,
Yeah.
and actually relish in what I thought was chaos at the time is actually controlled chaos. I mean, it's just a fast-moving industry, and there was a little bit of uncontrolled chaos for sure, but fell in love with the company.
So take me through the steps. So that was 1990.
Yeah,
It's 2022 now. So it's been 32 years?
33 years. Yeah, this is
30
my 33rd year.
33rd year. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So did that part-time job.
You've never had another job besides this?
I had some jobs prior to that.
Okay.
But they were with family-owned businesses that, you know, while I was
Did you work for your
attending
dad?
high school. I did, not for any money. So
Oh, not for
so on a Saturday I would
Okay.
help him.
Okay.
You know, he had a warehouse with all the
The
shoes
shoes.
and stuff. So I would help clean and help him stock shelves and things like that.
So we have a little bit of commonality in that because I grew up in a family business.
Okay.
My dad had a mercantile. I had 5 or 6 stores of those. Sold everything and everything, kind of like a small J.C. Penney
Right.
or Sears. And I, like you, worked for nothing for a
Yeah.
while until
was okay.
he actually paid me a little later. But
A little bit, but I had fun doing it, actually.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun just being there. And, you know, I was watching him do the work. He did everything, his own accounting, too, which I think might have been a mistake. But
Really?
but he, you know, he was just a hard worker.
Super.
For sure.
Very cool.
So anyway, started part-time.
Yeah.
And went to school at the same time, so some long days there. And then I had an opportunity, which we offer to a lot of people also now, to become a part-time supervisor.
Hmm.
So you kind of start dipping your toe in
Yep.
leading a team.
Yep.
It wasn't a big team. Maybe,
Supervisor doing the same thing, loading trucks? Or?
Yeah, except not loading. Now
Yeah.
you've got a team of 10 people that are loading
Okay.
trucks. I did that for a couple years, and then you couldn't drive a package car until you were 21. So at 21 years of age, I started delivering packages for the company. Best job ever. So just being out in your mobile office and meeting customers all day, I really enjoyed it.
That was fun.
Yeah.
What kind of a truck did you drive?
It was a P800, or just a typical UPS package car that you would see out there.
So car.
We call them package cars.
Okay.
So it's a truck, but it's
Oh,
a
it is.
package car to UPS,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Because it does qualify.
So it's not a station wagon.
No, it's
I mean,
not a station wagon, for sure. I wish it was, because we used to fill that package car up with
Right.
a lot of packages. But
Okay.
no, it's your typical UPS truck, and we refer to them as a package car. So.